G'day guys, and a huge hello from Down Under. I am Sydney Tamer, and today I want to share with you some of my favourite Digimon in the franchise. There are just way too many awesome and unique Digimon to keep this at a top 10 list, so I'm making it a top 20. Let's not waste any time and jump right in. Coming in at number 20 is MetalSeadramon. I remember as a kid when they introduced the Dark Masters in the original anime, and MetalSeadramon was the first of them to confront the Digidestined. This guy was awesome. The show really did a good job of escalating the power and danger of these guys through MetalSeadramon's character alone. And it might just have been me, but MetalSeadramon's voice sounded pretty badass for a giant mechanical sea serpent.
Wherever those kids try to hide, I'll find them. I rule this ocean with an iron hand, an iron tail, and an iron everything for that matter. I'll catch them even with Waymon on their side.
And although we'd already seen Tumon and Piximon sacrifice themselves to save the Digidestined from the Dark Masters, I remember the death that got me the most was Warmon's. He and the kids all thought they were safe and they'd outrun MetalSeadramon, and then out of the blue he just blasts up out of the ocean and takes them on. His death too was very fittingly deserved, being tornado shredded along the length of his body by WarGreymon. Number 19 is BlitzGreymon, a deviation mega for the Agumon line, a virus cyborg Digimon who uses electrical guns to fight instead of claws. I just really like the look of BlitzGreymon. He's got the blasters on his arms and then the giant two cannons on his back that can whirl around and shoot opponents. And there's something about his completely red armor that exudes danger. That's why he gets my number 19 spot. Number 18 is a new Digimon revealed only in June 2020. And seriously, what's not to love about Regalecusmon? He's an aquatic mega pirate oarfish. Look how badass he looks. Not to mention his weapon is a Shurimon horn that he tore off with his own hands. Claw. This guy isn't higher on the list because I have a lot of nostalgia attached to higher entries. Number 17 is Samudramon. So this guy is basically a samurai WarGreymon. This Digimon is just plain cool, and I know he has a big fan following. Its unique swords leave behind eerie trails of light that will cut anyone to pieces that come into contact with them. Number 16 is GrapLeomon. So my main exposure to Digimon outside of the show was through Digimon World 3, which I played non-stop as a kid. And I always started with Bearmon on my team, who later became GrapLeomon as his ultimate stage. I remember this was before I had readily available access to the internet, so most Digimon I encountered in the game I'd never seen in the show. But I remember being surprised the most by GrapLeomon. He was the ultimate of my partner, and I felt so invincible when I finally unlocked him. Number 15 is the only rookie on this list, and that's Mushroomon. I know it's really random, but I always really liked his design. His colour scheme says, "I'm very poisonous, stay away," and I really liked his little skull gloves. Number 14 is another fan favourite, Gargomon. I love the Digimon movie. To this day, I still get insane nostalgia from watching it, so for me, Terriermon's whole line is high up on any list. Gargomon is really cool, he's got his gun gauntlets, his green cap-like colouring, and, well, Willis says it best.
Now.
Number 13 is another random one, it's Mothmon. I really like bugs and insects, so expect at least one more insectoid Digimon to appear here. Mothmon is an armor Digimon, and is really Patamon using the Digi-Egg of knowledge. Mothmon's design is just really fun. Who doesn't want a moth with a machine gun abdomen? And the dust he scatters from his wings is actually gunpowder. Number 12 is heavyweight Grace Novamon. Just like how Omnimon is a fusion of two level 6 Mega Digimon, Grace Novamon is the DNA Digivolution of Apollomon and Dianamon, who are two of the Olympus 12. This Digimon's size is unmeasurable, and its power is the combined power of the sun and the moon to form Big Bang-like energy. This Digimon is just intense and wicked, and a galaxy of itself. To round out our bottom half of this list, coming in at number 11 is Tankdramon. There's not much to say about Tankdramon, I just really like its design. A lot of the higher stage Digimon are all about just equipping more and more guns to things, and Tankdramon really goes with that whole vibe. Number 10 is also an obscure Digimon, and that's Raijinmon. Obviously based off of the thunder god Raijin from Japanese mythology and Shinto religion. Raijinmon debuted in Digimon World 3, and was one of the Digimon partners to one of the endgame bosses, Megadeth. I honestly wasn't expecting Raijinmon to make this list, but it's got such a cool dynamic design that really grew on me. I especially love how Raijin's taiko drums are incorporated into Raijinmon's design. Despite a lot of Digimon utilising electrical power, I feel like it's very rare to get an especially electric Digimon in design, so that's why I really like Raijinmon. Number 9 is Shurimon, the Samurai of Sincerity, and one of Hawkmon's armor digivolutions from the show. As a kid, I always found it weird how Shurimon could come from Hawkmon, but years later, I really love its design as a standalone Digimon. It really combined the aspects of a plant ninja really well, and it's cool to see him do his springy movements in battle. Number 8 is WarGreymon, who in my opinion is the coolest Digidestined Ultimate. Like, over a decade ago, watching the show as a kid, no one would have predicted that Matt's Garurumon would turn into a sweet werewolf brawler fighter. I also had a toy of WarGreymon growing up, which makes me like it even more. Number 7 is Matadormon. I don't know what compels me to like Matadormon so much. I think it's just its really abnormal body structure and flowing yet sharp appearance. Also, his featureless face or mask is really cool and creepy, and he stands out to me from your typical virus Digimon. Number 6 is Stingmon. I remember when Ken and Wormmon returned in the Adventure 02 anime as good guys, and it digivolved to Stingmon, I couldn't believe how cool and powerful looking he was. I know he's just a humanoid insect, but I think what makes Stingmon so likeable to me was the arc he went through as Wormmon, and the voice really sells me on the character. And let's not forget the first time Stingmon DNA digivolved with XVmon. It's such a cool sequence.
Stingmon! DNA Digimon 2!
Number 5 is the last armor Digimon on this list, and that's Flamedramon. He just embodies awesome fiery dinosaur that kicks ass. Flamedramon was in my opinion the standout of all the armor forms of the cast, and he got the best action sequences too. Number 4 goes to another Dark Master, Puppetmon. I don't know why he appeals to me so much. I think it's a combination of his design and his character from the show. Equal parts childlike, playful and creepy, Puppetmon was unique among the show's villains in that he really was able to make the Digidestined turn on each other, both figuratively and literally. If he wasn't pulling the strings among the chosen kids, he was doing it to anyone that crossed his path. His death felt a little anticlimactic to me, but it was deserved nonetheless. Into our top 3, and to start things off we have Footmon. This might be a really obscure choice for some people. To my knowledge, Footmon hasn't really appeared in any Digimon media, but I like how its design was interpreted from a kid's fan entry, and that it's based on a hot rodded up soccer player who punts around electric blasts of energy. I've been a soccer player my whole life, so I think that's why I relate and like Footmon so much. He just looks so cool. Number 2 is Antylamon. Again, my love for the Digimon movie is what has Antylamon so high up on this list. I love both the Terriermon and Lopmon lines, but Antylamon stands out to me among them all, because during his fight with the O2 cast, he just toys around with them and defeats them effortlessly. And his design appeals to me so much. He looks like such a demented puppet, almost like a Heartless from Kingdom Hearts. Like, how'd they make a giant rabbit look so cool and intimidating? And lastly, number 1. A Digimon that I didn't realise was my favourite until I sat down to make this list. It's WarGreymon. I feel like this guy could be called the easy fan favourite, and why not? WarGreymon always came through for us in the show. Like, no one could say they disliked the Agumon line. He was the main character's Digimon, we all liked him, and WarGreymon was the final flagship of that line. Like, the episode that he and Metal Garurumon debuted in, when the kids solved Myotismon's riddle and were up against their first ever Mega Digimon, like, that was unreal. And from there, WarGreymon got better and better. He was able to use his Dramon Destroyer gauntlets against 2 of the 4 Dark Masters, though admittedly, he got easily dismissed by the other 2. His design is just so cool, and that's why he comes in at my number 1. If you stuck around this long, thank you so much guys, I appreciate it. If you like this content, please leave a like, comment and subscribe below. I'm Sydney Tamer, and until the next video, I'll see yous all later.